It looks like I've hurt the feelings of the bosses over at the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. Why? Because I stated the truth about what they were doing and I stated my opinion about what they were doing. Now they want me and the Toronto Sun to apologize and print an apology that they've written for us, or they might sue. As you can tell, I'm worried. What's this all about? Well, earlier this month, I wrote a column titled CUPW Runneth Over. In that column, I wrote about several things, including the attempt by unions representing federal civil servants to get political slush funds in their contracts. The idea is, rather than using dues money for politics, the union bosses, they want to use your money. The Public Service Alliance of Canada, they've already got this in a few of their smaller contracts, but now they want it included in every contract going forward. And if they get their way, PSAC will have $3 million a year to spend on politics and fight against the very government policies their members spend their days implementing. Now think about that. They're government workers paid to carry out government policy, but their union wants us to pay into a fund so the union can fight that government policy. On what planet does that make sense? Well, the model for this is the fund the Postal Union has. Each year, Canada Post, which is owned by all of us, pays $200,000 into the union's Solidarity Fund. The head honchos of the union wanted to use money from that fund to go to a conference in Brazil that included greetings from a convicted terrorist and sponsored sessions on freeing him. I'm talking about that celebrated terrorist, Ahmad Sadat. Sadat is the Secretary General of the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. He's currently behind bars for his role in the assassination of Israeli Tourism Minister Rahavam Zevi in October 2001. He was arrested and imprisoned originally by Yasser Arafat, but now the Israelis have him. He's become a bit of a cause célèbre among the global leftists. Here's what I wrote that has the unions so upset. Should taxpayer dollars be used to pay for conferences that support terrorism? Of course not, is what most rational people would say, but not the bosses at the Canadian Union of Postal Workers. The lawyers for CUPW say that my words, well, they've inferred that the bosses at CUPW are not rational. They also claim that I've said they support terrorism and therefore my statements are disparaging and defamatory. I don't think so. What I pointed out is that they attended a conference that supports a terrorist and they wanted money that belongs to all of us to pay their way for this swanky junket. Now, if you don't want to be associated with terrorism, don't go to events where people lobby to get terrorists out of jail and where greetings are read from a jailed terrorist. Is it rational to ask Canadians to foot the bill here using money that comes from Canada Post owned by all of us? I don't think so. If you can't tell, I'm not reading their prepared apology, the one in my hands right here. They say if I fail to do this by Christmas Eve, they'll take further legal action. Well, if you do, we will vigorously defend the truth and free speech.